Hey guys, I'm Bobby Tonelli with Tech360.tv, and today we are talking about two very powerful tablets in front of me. This is the iPad Pro 10.5 inch and the iPad Pro 12.9 inch 2017 version. As we know, Apple has really pretty much taken over the tablet market. There are other tablets out there, but nothing is competing at the level of iPad currently. But can these tablets, as powerful as they are, be a desktop replacement? That is the question we have today, and that is the question we will answer. First, let's talk about the changes in the 2017 models and the design. Changes. Both of these have new A10 processor, not the Bionic A11 that's in the new iPhone 10. That is still a little bit faster than this, but the A10 is in both of these, and it's plenty fast enough for what you're doing. Also, on this one, this is the newest of the bunch. This is a 10.5 inch screen in the same overall dimensions as the 9.7 inch iPad Pro from last year. Screen is just as vibrant, just as beautiful, just slightly bigger. Cameras on the back are the same as the iPhone 7. Great image quality for a tablet if you want to take a picture with your tablet. I don't, but some do. This is a good camera. Now, we can't talk about the iPad Pros without talking about the big elephant in the room, which is iOS 11. iOS 11, in my view, was designed for the iPad first and foremost, the iPhone second. The reason being is now you have multitasking on the iPad. And I'm talking about two apps open. You have a file management system, so that makes it a lot easier to download things and link things through various apps. The way that you can open up different apps within an app works a lot better than previous versions of iOS. And it's such a welcome change. Thank you, Apple, finally for doing this. Not at all as perfect, mind you, but it's a step in the right direction. Looking at iOS 11 visually, you're gonna notice we have the dock. Like macOS 10, the dock is down there, and you can drag apps to lock in there, as many apps as you want. What you'll really notice about iOS 11 overall on these iPads is it just brings them an inch closer to being the full desktop replacement, and really starts challenging some of the low-end MacBooks out there, especially if you don't need all the functionality that the MacBook gives you. Another new feature to the iPads is the screen. Now, same resolution, same Retina display, beautiful display, same color gamut, but there is one big thing new. That is the 120 Hertz refresh rate. What does that mean? It means that the responsiveness of the screen is double the speed of what we're used to using. That means like where your finger is at, if you're browsing through a website, if you're going through different pages here, going through various apps, looking through photos, it's so fast, so instantaneous. It just feels like your finger and the iPad are one. Now, it's kind of hard to capture on video. You actually have to use this in person to see it, but trust me, when you use it, you'll never want to go back to a slower Hertz stream. Unfortunately, you have to on the iPhone, but that probably will change next year, I'm sure of it. One of the things I don't like about the iPad Pro is the file management system. Now, I'm glad Apple decided to do something about it, but it's sort of half-baked. The reason I say that is it only works with cloud applications, let's say Google Drive, Dropbox, iCloud, and so forth. And if you want to store files locally, you can only have access to, say, the file management system, which is in Keynote or Pages or GarageBand. So it's a little, I call it half-baked. I feel like they could have taken some notes from Android on this one and really made it a full-fledged filing system. Still protected it so people couldn't like do anything illegal to the iPads, but at least give us a little bit more options, because when you're adding multitasking to this, you want a good file management system. Speaking of multitasking, I like it overall. It does take a little bit of an adjustment how to multitask, but you can only have two apps open at the same time on any iPad. Now, I would have liked three, especially on a 12.9 inch screen. I want a few apps open and be able to seamlessly drop and drag and go through those apps. But on this one, you only have two so far. Can they update it in the future? Of course they can. Will they? Hopefully they will. But that is a little bit of a caveat, which I wish they would have improved. So let's talk about some of the apps available on the iPad Pro, especially if you're into photo editing and you want something that goes, well, I want a desktop replacement, but Adobe's sort of letting me down. Well, let me introduce you to Affinity Photo. Now, Affinity Photo is basically a Photoshop replacement for your iPad with all the tools that you pretty much need. And it works with PSD files, it works with TIFF files, RAW files, you name it, it works with it, and it does an amazing job. If you like editing pictures, you definitely need to get. Speaking of editing photos, let's talk about the Apple Pencil. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, when the Apple Pencil first came out, I was like, huh? Okay, a pencil for an iPad. And then when I saw that it charges like this, which kind of looks like a male appendage, I was a bit turned off by it. I was like, that doesn't seem very Apple-esque to me. Anyway, when I got the iPads to review, along came the Apple Pencil, so I decided to put my bias aside and I said, let me try the Apple Pencil. And I'm here to say right now, I'm gonna eat my words. This is phenomenal. The sensitivity that this tip has, the way that it interacts with iOS, the pressure, the way that it just seamlessly works, the best that I've used of any device to date. Put aside the Wacom tablets for a moment, but just on tablets or on laptops or PCs, this is the best stylus out there. It works, and it works so well. You need an Apple Pencil if you get an iPad Pro. Let me just put it out there. You need to have it with you. Keyboards. I like them and I don't like them. First and foremost, if you want a desktop replacement, the keyboard on the 10.5 inch is going to be cramped for you. And I have slightly larger hands, so I am always touching the screen on accident at times, or not, it doesn't feel comfortable for me. 12.9 inch on the other hand feels like a full-size keyboard, which it pretty much is. Doesn't have all the functionality that I want, but for the most part, it works as described and the key travel feels good. But, and here's a big but, you can't adjust the angle. If you do, it will fall flat. That's why you'll probably have to look at a third-party keyboard case if you want something that adds more flexibility in that regard. Also, some of the function keys that we have on our standard Apple keyboards aren't there. Wish they put them in there. They could have, they didn't, don't know why. Apple maybe will come out with another version, but like I said, other third-party keyboards that do offer that. But here's one thing that I don't understand why Apple didn't include this. Now, of course, the keyboard folds up, becomes a nice cover, except when you go to the back. And this is as naked as a baby's bottom. There is nothing protecting this back whatsoever. Aluminum strong, but not for scratches. But they might improve it in the future. Then let's talk about this cover. Now this is sort of like a portfolio sleeve that you can put your iPad in. This is for the 12.9 inch, they have it for the 10.5 inch. Let me show you how this works. Take the iPad, you slide it in. You can't slide it in with the Apple keyboard cover, so you gotta carry that separately, by the way. But look how sexy that is. Look at this. The pencil fits in here beautifully. And the leather quality on this feels like Hermes, but at Apple prices, not Hermes prices, because I don't think, maybe some people will pay for it, but I'm not gonna spend $1,000 on a leather case. But overall, Apple's got a wide variety of accessories. I like them for the most part, but if you do want more functionality, more versatility, do look at the third-party options. But having put all that aside, can the iPad Pro be a desktop replacement? 10.5 inch, I will say this. For media consumption, website browsing, shopping online, 10.5 inch is the way to go. Not really a desktop replacement because to me, it's a little bit too small. Keyboard's a bit cramped. But in terms of the 12.9 inch as a desktop replacement, size-wise, yes. Full-size keyboard, bigger display, which is always better in my opinion. It's thin, it's light, powerful, it's got everything you need. iOS 11 does hinder us a little bit from being a full desktop replacement because of the file management system. Not a deal breaker, but just keep in mind, applications-wise, there's a lot of options out there to buy. And for the most part, if you're just an average user on your laptop, it will more than be adequate for you. If you need high-end professional grade, you might find yourself at that border of being, I might need a MacBook Pro. But a standard MacBook, this is gonna compete with this. This is gonna take some of the money from the MacBooks, I'm gonna tell you, because it is that good and that powerful. Anyway, that is my review of the iPad Pros. Any questions you have, leave your comments below. Do not forget to subscribe to us on YouTube. Once again, I'm Bobby Tonelli with Tech360.tv, and we will see you on the next one. Take care.